Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. So it follows 5 teenagers who end up in detention together. One of them dies and then the other 4 become suspects basically. So you're trying to work out which one of them, if it was any of them at all, killed the 5th person. They all kind of fit into a typical high school kind of stereotype as well, which is what gets a lot of people comparing this to the movie The Breakfast Club. If you haven't seen that, it's a really fantastic 80s like high school movie, and this is obviously a similar kind of premise to begin with, aside from the whole murder thing. There's Bronwyn, who is like the smart kid. She's really driven in school and on a really good path to college and things like that. Cooper, who is a jock, and there is Nate, who is an outcast badass type of guy. Then there is Addie, who is the popular princess type girl, and then there is Simon, who is the more like weird kind of outcast. So not in the badass way like Nate is, he's more of the weird, doesn't have many friends kind of dude. But Simon ran this blog which revealed secrets about everyone in the high school, so people kind of disliked him for that reason. But yeah, it definitely has those little Gossip Girl vibes as well, so if you like that kind of premise, I think this book might appeal to you. It's a little bit Breakfast Club, a little bit Gossip Girl, and a whole lot of mystery. As a side note, there is another movie slash book that this book reminded me of as well, and that's just because the principal's name is Principal Gupta, and that just reminds me of The Princess Diaries because the principal in that movie is also called Gupta. Found that funny. The main thing that I disliked about this book was that I did find it quite predictable. The main like whodunit twist ending I totally saw coming just from the hints and stuff like that that were dropped throughout the book. I had basically figured it out. Obviously I didn't know for sure until I got to the end, so it did keep me reading because I wanted to find out, and I ended up being right, so that takes away some of the fun. I think with a mystery you really want to have it be unexpected and have yourself like feel really surprised, like the ending makes sense but it really shocks you at the same time, and this one didn't really shock me at all. The other thing with this book is that each of the characters, because there's the whole gossip website element of the story as well, each of the characters has a secret that they don't want to come out. For each of the characters, I think just because of their stereotypes, it was pretty easy to guess what a secret that they wouldn't want out might be. So I didn't find any of their like reveals of their secrets very exciting either. In saying that though, I think those secrets, even though I didn't find them shocking, so it wasn't like mysterious or thrilling, which was what I was kind of expecting, they did give a really good storyline to each character, and each character had a really complex, you know, situation they were dealing with, and I think that was done really well. And because it's following 4 different characters, you get a whole variety of situations going on. It deals with relationships, family problems, you know, issues with like school and upcoming, you know, career and college concerns and things like that. So I think it dealt with a whole variety of issues that would appeal to a lot of people because there's just such a variety of them. So I found that really interesting. I found a lot of the storylines particularly interesting. I really liked Cooper, his storyline. He's the jock, and I just found his storyline really interesting. I did predict it just because of the clues that were dropped, but yeah, I just liked him a lot as a character. I also liked Addie's storyline. Addie is in a relationship which people kind of question whether it's good for her or not, and I really liked her storyline. I think it's a really important one. The storyline that I didn't enjoy so much was the main romance that comes up in this book. I just couldn't get interested or invested in that romance as the story was going on. It was just something that I didn't care about. In light of all of, you know, the murder investigation and everything, the romance just felt kind of pointless. But in saying that, the other relationships like friendships and family relationships that this book explores, I really enjoyed. There are some really nice sister relationships in this book that I think were awesome, and the friendship, like these 4 kids are kind of brought together when they probably wouldn't have gotten along before this happened. I really enjoyed the characters and like the storyline of this book, but it was told in multiple point of views, so it's in first person from the 4 different characters. It switches between them in different chapters, and it was cool to see each character's storyline, but I think the actual point of views were hard to differentiate between. Like, obviously they all have different stuff going on, so you could tell who was, you know, whose point of view it was by what they were dealing with. But in terms of the actual voice of each character, I think they all sounded exactly the same. I was reading a chapter and I'd have to flick back to the title of the chapter to check which character it was, because I would forget if it was something generic going on with the, you know, investigation or whatever. I'd forget which character I was reading from because they just didn't have a unique voice. So I think I would have enjoyed this book more if it had have been told in third person and just, you know, focus on one character per chapter. But I think it would have been better in third person, because then it wouldn't matter that it was just one voice throughout all of the characters. Aside from that, and aside from the fact that I totally predicted the ending and all of the secrets in it, I think the whole concept of this book was really cool. It's, like I said, definitely not a thriller, so it's not like an edge of your seat type thing, but if you like a good mystery and trying to work out you know, who did something, and if you like the whole idea of the Breakfast Club thing of different stereotypes coming together, and the Gossip Girl thing of you know, the involvement of blogs and things like that, I think you would enjoy this book. As with a lot of YA mystery type books, it deals really well with the idea of guilty until proven innocent, which is something that can happen a lot these days, especially with social media and in like a high school type environment. People assume that someone's guilty from the moment they're even slightly under suspicion, and I think that's really unfair, because that's why we have a justice system. This was a 3-star read for me, which means I did enjoy the book, but there were just those couple of things that bothered me about it. If you guys have read this book, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if you guessed the ending or not, and also if you have any other YA mystery recommendations, leave me those in the comments down below. Apparently, who was telling me? Christina was telling me that it is Mystery March in March where you can like read a lot of mysteries. I don't know much else about that, but it just makes me think maybe I should pick up some more mysteries in March. So leave me your recommendations in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching this. I'll see you with another video in a couple days. Bye.